Hi, I'm Dr. Ruby Lathan, holistic health expert and holistic nutritionist. And I'm here to share with you some vital information about building your immune system during COVID-19 and beyond, and potentially some life-saving information. But before I get into that, I want to share a little bit with you about myself. Um, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer back in 2007. And at that time, I was an engineer, and I decided I wanted to treat myself naturally and allow my body to heal itself. So I started researching from scratch about cancer and how to heal cancer, what causes it. And from that research, I developed my own holistic nutrition plan, supplementation plan, exercise, meditation, all types of things to really allow my body to fully heal. And about a year later, I had another biopsy done and the cancer was gone. And that was all through the power of what I put on my plate, the thinking that I used to heal my body, and the supplements that allowed the healing to happen. And so from that, it was such a profound experience that I really decided to change careers to help other people do the same thing and to heal themselves and to take charge of their own health. And that's really vitally important during this time because most people who are diagnosed with COVID-19 or coronavirus are sent home to deal with it themselves. And many of them have no idea what to do other than sleep and fluids. And there's quite a bit that you can do to help your body heal and to keep the virus from getting worse. And this not only applies to just the coronavirus, but any other illness that is like a cold or flu or virus that attacks your immune system, that you can use some of these techniques to really protect yourself. So we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see some of the details of what we're going to talk about. So as I mentioned, I'm a holistic health expert and I specialize in plant-based nutrition because that is one of the most healing diets that we can use right now. And it's really not a diet, it's a lifestyle choice that really supports overall optimal health. I'm also a vegan chef and I help people to learn how to cook differently to make the food tasty and so that they can maintain the lifestyle. So I really hope you take some valuable tips from what I'm about to share. And one of the things that's very concerning about this virus is that it appears to be affecting African American communities and other minority communities at a lot greater place with a lot more a lethal reaction to it, in that more people are dying who get COVID-19. And one of the reasons for that is because of the high number of underlying conditions that many people in disenfranchised communities have. So if you don't have access to grocery stores and hospitals and regular medical care, you're often left dealing with undiagnosed or underlying conditions that put your body in a compromised state and make it harder to fight something like COVID-19. So that is one of the reasons the death rate is so much higher among the African American community, which makes this information that much more important because we don't have to live with those underlying conditions. We can do something about that right now so that as we deal with this throughout the rest of the year, that our bodies are able to fight and withstand any onslaught of any virus. So let's delve right in. One of the first things we want to do is take a few things out of the diet. That's going to be our white sugar, processed sugar. Processed sugar breaks down the immune system. It breaks down the cells. It causes more oxidative stress on the cells. So we want to take white sugar off the table. Meat and dairy products cause quite a bit of inflammation, as well as processed food and sugar cause inflammation in the body that is very detrimental. So as we know, one of the symptoms of dealing with COVID-19 is an inflammation in the lungs and cells. And so the air is not able to get in as needed. The oxygen isn't able to get in. So we really have to do everything we can to bring down inflammation, especially chronic inflammation in our systems. And that is by one way is absolutely zero dairy. Dairy is highly inflammatory. And most people in the minority communities are lactose intolerant because you're not a baby cow, so we should not be eating dairy. So let's take the dairy, the cheese, the milk off the plate, take the processed meats off the plate, and lean toward a plant-based diet, because that is the diet that builds your immune system the most, gives you the antioxidants, the nutrients, and the fiber that allows your body to be in shape to fight this virus. So next, food can either increase inflammation and mucus, or decrease it. So as I mentioned, the foods before, processed foods, potato chips, sodas, burgers, from meat-based burgers, all of those things will increase inflammation and mucus in the body, whereas plant-based diets are known to reduce inflammatory markers in the system, specifically C-reactive protein, which is a marker for that. So we want to bring down the inflammation and the mucus in our system. Next, we want to look at healing supplements that can really give your body that fighting chance. So we're going to start with the food. That means sugar, processed foods with food coloring. That has to come off the plate, and we need to go toward our beans, greens, and things like that to really count on getting our body in shape. And then we bring in the supplements. Teas are very helpful during this time. So echinacea tea, elderberry tea, chamomile tea, all of those healing teas are very beneficial to drink on a nightly basis, even as a preventative measure. Vitamin C, very important, well-known vitamin to help build the immune system, from helping with things like cancer on down the line. So taking a vitamin C supplement or a powder, or eating foods that are high in vitamin C like broccoli and bell peppers and kiwi fruit and all the citrus fruit, all of those things will help your body heal. Now, vitamin D3 is vitally important, not just for coronavirus, but for others. But studies have shown that people who have died from coronavirus, most of them, especially minorities, had very low vitamin D levels. So that's saying that your immunity is compromised, especially when you're low on vitamin D. You usually get that from the sun, but we're not getting enough from the sun. So it's important that most people supplement with a vitamin D3 at about 5,000 international units a day. Now, I will say this is not medical advice. This is general information about supplements and things that generally help most of the population heal. You should check with your doctor or other healthcare provider to make sure it's right for you, because there are some things that may not work for you depending on your current health condition. So keep that in mind. Zinc. Now, zinc is another that is known to cut virus, colds, and flus short, especially when you take it at the first sign. All of these are best when you take it at the very, very, very first sign of a notice of anything. So it's been hard to find zinc because people are finding out that it's helpful for this particular condition. But you can find it in foods like pumpkin seeds, and you are able to find it in several health food stores or online. So zinc is very important. The B vitamins are very important. They help boost your immunity as well. Now, if you're taking a whole food multivitamin, which I do suggest, and whole food meaning that it's made from food and not food colorings and fillers, but it's actually made from plants and fruits and things that you can read on the back, then you probably don't need a B vitamin in addition to that. But if you're not taking a multivitamin, you want to be taking your B vitamins. So that food-based multivitamin is very helpful. Probiotics are also very helpful, and they help the body fight. So it's like the opposite of antibiotics, where the antibiotics go in and kill all bacteria, good and bad. So they do kill infections and things like that, but then you have to replenish your good bacteria. With probiotics, it's like just fortifying your body with good troops, so they put everything in balance without knocking both the good and bad bacteria out of balance. So probiotics is something that's very helpful in building your immune system and keeping it at its optimal state. Now, olive leaf extract is something that's very high in antioxidants and one of my favorite supplements, because it often comes in a spray, and you can just spray it in the back of your throat at the first sign of a sore throat, or just to get a spray of antioxidants at any time. So that's one to keep in your back pocket. Apple cider vinegar. Now, apple cider vinegar is a fermented vinegar that is super helpful for killing bacteria, and it's full of probiotics. There's no alcohol content in it, so it's very helpful for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So what you want to do with apple cider vinegar, you either take a tablespoon in a glass of water, or if you're getting a sore throat, you can gargle with it, like about a half a cup of it, and take it in your throat and gargle in the back of your throat and spit it out. One of the best things you can do if you don't have apple cider vinegar and you want it apple cider vinegar with the mother and organic. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, you can gargle with salt water, sea salt. Very good to gargle. What you don't want is to let a sore throat get a hold on you. You want to knock it out immediately at the first sign. And then there's oil of oregano. Now, I call oil of oregano is like dropping the bomb. When things are really going bad, oil of oregano is it's very potent, very, very, very potent. Cannot stress that enough. So you don't want to just put it on your tongue. You want to take it in a little bit of juice or something and knock it in the back of your throat and then follow it with something, because it's very potent. For most people, if you're getting sick, take 2 drops, no more than 2 drops, maybe 3 times a day until for like 10 days. As a preventative measure, you can take 1 drop in something, like in a little bit of a smoothie, and then follow behind with something else, 1 drop a day. And you don't want to take oil of oregano forever. You want to take it like for a few weeks or a month and then give yourself a break. Other modalities that are very, very helpful with this process are deep breathing. So one of the things that happens when you start getting complications with this is that you can't breathe. When you feel like you can't breathe, that's when you need to be breathing the most. But these are exercises, breathing exercises we should be doing right now so that we're expelling stale air out of our body and getting in fresh air. So deep breathing would be something like taking all the air in, holding it for 5 seconds, and releasing that same air. That is kind of recycles. Now, especially we've been hearing that it's very painful to breathe when you have this COVID-19. That's when you want to fight, and make sure you're doing your deep breathing, regardless of the pain, so that you're getting the air in and out as necessary. Hot and cold therapy is something you can do to help boost your immune system, and that is like for sinuses, people have put their face in very hot water. Now, make sure it's not too hot that it burns your skin, and then put their face in very cold water. It causes drainage very quickly, and you can get any congestion and things out. And you kind of repeat that cycle, like 1 minute of hot, 1 minute of cold. Give yourself a 1-minute break and repeat that cycle 5 times. It causes drainage. You can do the same thing getting in a hot tub, but you want to be very careful with that so you don't burn yourself. And if you're pregnant or a diabetic, you want to be very careful and measure the temperature, because diabetics don't always feel the temperature because the circulation can be poor, and pregnant women shouldn't get in very hot tubs. So for everyone else, and hypertension, that's something else you have to monitor if you're getting in a warm tub as well. So if you're getting in a very warm tub, you want to make sure you have a big cup of water, ice water, and a bowl of ice with a cold compress in it, so you can put it on your head so that you don't pass out while you're spending 30 minutes in this very, very hot, warm water. Then after that, you take a cool shower to close your pores, and then go to bed and let your body heal. Sleeping is very, very important during this time. That is when your body heals. So be sure you're getting adequate rest before you get sick so that you're not at a compromised state. And it's especially as important to sleep even more when you're sick. Sunlight and walking. It's very important to get circulation during this time, to get outside, to get circulating, to get sun. It's very healing, very, very important, especially even if you're sick. If you're well enough to walk, you should do that, and make sure you're covering your face and mouth as to not infect anyone else when you're outside. You want to maintain a great mood, laugh, have fun, especially if you're sick. The laughter creates endorphins, which makes you feel better, which helps the healing process. And then you want to reduce your worry and stress, because stress and worry break down the immune system, make it harder to heal. And then finally, you want to clear your lungs. If it gets to this point, we want to not get to the point where there's fluid buildup on your lungs. But if there is, you can clear your lungs. So one way to do that is by laying on your side and let gravity pull some of the fluid to the other side, and then you can cough that up. So as you see in the pictorial here, where you're laying on one side and then you would reverse that and lay on the other side, and that kind of shifts the fluid around, which will allow you to cough that up. The other is to get in kind of a pyramid position where you're facing forward and down so that the fluid starts coming up and out of your lungs, and so that you can expel it through coughing and through the drainage that way. You can use towels or on a chair. It's very important if you can't breathe to kind of get up off of your back, because your lungs are in your back. Laying flat down on your back makes it harder to breathe. So if you're having problem breathing, sit up and sit in one of these positions that's shown here. And what would be even better if you could get someone to pat and massage your back, where like patting on your back like this, where you can hear the vibration. That will loosen up the mucus and the fluids to come out, and that's very important. So if you can have someone massage your back or do it yourself like this, and on the lower back as well, to get the fluid moving and get out. Or if you have a massager or a brush that you can tap your back with, if there's no one there to help you, you need to do that to get that fluid out of your lungs so that it doesn't cause infection and make it even more difficult to breathe. So this is very important, especially if you're feeling that fluid buildup and difficulty of breathing. This is some of the techniques they use in the hospital with respiratory therapists and other things that you can do right in your own home. Now, if you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. This does not supplant hospital stays or whatever, but if you're at home and you feel the need that you need to breathe, this can be one of those life-saving techniques to help you in this process. So if you need help with recipes, because I really want people to lean into the plant-based diet, because that is one of the Genesis diet. It is the diet that we were first given in the beginning that will continue to help us heal. So getting meat and dairy and processed food off the plate and processed sugar is one of the best things that you can do, not only for this virus, but to help get rid of those underlying conditions that are making this virus deadly. And those are hypertension, diabetes, heart failure, congestive heart failure, all those things, clogging of the arteries, kidney failure. When you move to a plant-based diet, most of those diseases can be improved or alleviated and reversed. So we really want to make that leap. You can go to my website, watch the videos, watch the cooking show that will show you how to make tasty plant-based recipes on a regular basis. So I want to leave you with that, and also leave you with another resource where you can call in every Monday night, except holidays, while myself and Dr. Theodore Watkins, who is a holistic physician, cover a health topic every Monday night and leave it open for Q&A on any topic that you have. So we give of our time every week for several years now to give this service to the community, so you have a resource and you can connect with other people of like-mindedness who believe in caring for their bodies in the best way possible. So jot this number down or go to my website where you can also find the number and also find a wealth of information there. So I will leave you with that. I'm happy to help in whatever way I can. Find me on social media or my website. And I wish you the best of health, and to really hope that this information will give you a bit more comfort, especially as things open up and we go back out into the communities. We cannot live in fear. What we must do is prepare and be ready for whatever comes our way and be able to handle it as best as possible. So the best case scenario is that we don't get sick at all. The second best is that we might get sick, but we don't get very sick because our bodies are in a fighting mode and we have very little symptoms, and then we can get back to living. So I wish you well, and I wish you great health. And thank you very much for watching.